I just wanted to say that we're here in South Austin and we're going to photograph a house together, and I will show you some tips and tricks in how to engage your audience with photography. So without further ado, let's take a tour. Let's go. We're going to talk about movement, light, and balance. Those are the three components that we're going to talk about. These are tools that you'll be able to use for your photography. So, without further ado, let's start, right? Let's go. This is a beautiful home. It's one of the reasons I've chosen this home is because it gives you a lot of opportunities to shoot incredible shots. One of the things, and this is questions that I ask myself every day when, especially with my own business, I want to make sure I capture imagery that will reflect and highlight my brand and not undermine it. And that's one of the big questions I want you to think about when you're taking a picture. Why are you taking this picture? Are you telling a story? And how do I feel about this picture? How do I feel when I'm in this home, for instance? Those are questions I ask myself every time I take a picture. You can take a picture, but how do you know if it undermines or it actually highlights your brand? That's really important because you can print up a picture or take a picture and post it on Instagram, but how do you actually know if it does what you want it to do? I've chosen this particular shot right here because it has light, it has movement, and it also has balance. And I'll talk about each of these things separately. What I love about this particular space right here is the windows, and where I'm going to be talking about light first. Light is an important component because it's emotional. We can talk about the quality of it, and we can also talk about the direction, how it comes through, what direction does it come from. In this case, it's going to come through the trees into this window, and it's going to sweep right across the living room floor, as you can see right here. I want to capture the feeling that you're going to feel like when you live in this house. I want you to feel what it would feel like in the morning when you wake up out of bed and you make yourself a pot of coffee and you're going to just walk around and you're going to gaze at the sunrise. And that's how it feels. And that's the emotional component that I'm looking for. So the whole thing about photography, especially real estate, is you want to tell a story. You want to be able to tell a story about through certain tools like light. Light will help you tell a story. And in this case, this light is coming in through the window is a bit orangey. It's kind of a sort of orange tone to it, and it will usually an orange tone denotes either late day or early morning. So I'm going to go back to this camera and I'm going to show you just a little bit about how to set this up. And so it's a decision whether I want to go horizontal or vertical. Either way, I try to find the right composition that will actually create eye movement. And I'm going to try and find some objects that will help engage the audience. So I have the chair, I have the painting, and I also have this beautiful light that's starting to come through here. Composition is all these elements, whether it's light, whether it's lines, whether it's objects. Composition is whatever you can fit within that confine of that frame line. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find things that will help move the eye across the frame. And when I talk about movement, it's a physical component of taking a picture, meaning that the viewer is going to be moving through the frame. And so I have to compose the image so that the viewer can actually engage himself or herself in the frame and see the entire picture. So I'm going to try to create movement with color and with light and with angles and lines. And in this case, you can see there's a little bit of blue here. There's also a little blue in the upper ceiling. So there's going to be movement up and down. And you can see that color above and color below kind of reflect each other, right? There's a little blue up, there's turquoise on the top, and then there's a little turquoise in the painting. But I also want to add a little color maybe to the chair. So I'm going to move over and maybe change the angle of the chair. I'm going to switch this pillow right here because it will create movement. And because I want to try and reflect some of the colors that you see here across. Let's go to the camera and let's look at the picture. Now people will actually, be able to see not only the painting, but they'll also be able to see the chair clearly. And that creates a certain movement. And that is what engages the audience. It physically engages the eye in order to see the picture, and it tells a story. That's what storytelling is all about in photography. We'll take this picture. There you have it. So that's my first shot. So I was able to capture not only the space, but certain elements of the space which reveal itself in all the other subsequent pictures later on. But it reveals more than just a painting, more than just a hallway. It reveals the emotional aspect of living here, of being in this space. And that's really what a successful picture is. It's something that tells a story and actually reveals something emotionally to the viewer. Now, I'm going to talk about another element, which I love to talk about, and this picture does reflect that as well, is balance. The theme is you want to create a sense of stability, balance, and harmony when you're taking a picture, especially when it comes to real estate. Especially if you want to sell real estate with your pictures, with your image, or engage your audience in order to sell a home, for instance. When I frame a picture, I want to make sure it feels balanced. It feels balanced in terms of symmetry, or it could be balanced asymmetrically, meaning that it doesn't have to be strictly in the middle, but it can also be to the side, but there's other things that will balance the image. So it feels harmonious. It feels steady and stable. Actually, one of the things I want to show you, there's another room here that I want to move this camera to, because color becomes an important component of movement as well. So there's this beautiful room right here, and I love this beautiful space. It's just got an amazing light that I can't get enough of right now. It's just incredible. So the idea is I want to create movement with shadows. Got this beautiful light that's coming through here from the window, and it's just, creating these beautiful shapes. And it's hitting that plant, and it's creating these forms. So this is a great example where shadow and light actually add to the composition. They're an element of composition that balances the image. So you can balance the image with a real object, and you can also, and next to it you see a shadow in the wall, and that creates a certain sense of balance. So I've got a little color on the right-hand side here, I've got some shadows over here, I've got some beautiful green color over here, and I even have a foreground element that I can incorporate into the composition. So the composition is circular, and there's movement there. So here, and we're going to click the picture to see, make sure that this picture is perfect. And I'm amazed. I'm always amazed at nature and the natural architecture. And this is why I love photographing for this client, is they have an amazing sense of where the light's coming from. So that makes my job fun and interesting. That's why I love doing this. So I love this angle. It really worked out, and it really kind of captures the essence of this room, especially in the morning. So now I've got a great other shot that I want to show you. This is a great angle. I'm looking down the stairs, and it's just amazing. I mean, the shapes, the light, the angle. So I'm going to take a quick shot of here because I just can't get over it. So let me take a look, and oh yeah, this is beautiful. I love this. And beautiful. All right, great. All right, let's move on to the next shot. We're gonna go downstairs. All right, so I see this is a great space because I'm gonna utilize color. In this case, we're gonna talk about color. This is a great room for that because it's got so much color, as you can see. So I'm gonna try and utilize all the different components we talked about, which is color, which is light, which is also balance, and we're going to create a sense of balance here as well, and movement, of course. And so coming from here, I'm seeing this amazing interplay with this wallpaper, which is on the right side, and I'm also looking at this beautiful practical on the left side of the camera frame. And I love these converging lines leading up to this focal point, which is this little light bulb at the end of the hallway. So I'm setting up the frame so there's kind of you can see part of the frame is converging lines, and that way you have really an engaging image that will also give a sense of the architecture, the form, and the movement within the frame. So that's how I'm going to take the picture, and click. Thank you for joining me. It was a pleasure teaching and sharing with you these various tools for your business. These tools, if you use them, will engage the audience and make your pictures 100% better. And if you need to know any more about photography or any tools you'd like to add to your toolbox, feel free to contact me or subscribe here, and there'll be a lot more where that came from, believe me. Thanks for joining us, and see you next time.